This is the English Literature Web. This is by Prof.L.B.Gayakawad. I am talking on the topic which is register. So the concept today's is that we are going to discuss about the notion of register. It means there is the register in the language. So what is actually register? We are saying that notion or that concept. So register is a style of speech. What is register? Register is a style of speech. It is a particular kind of speech of people. Means it is the style of speaking, it is the style of speech, and it is the particular type of people who they talk about the language. Means they talk as per their occupation or as per their profession or as per their job. It means that these persons have their speech, their language, their register as per their business, as per their job, as per their profession. So the register is the style which is used by the persons, means by the business persons. It means the persons who are working in the business or what type of their business is. As per the business, the register of language is decided, or the persons decide the register of language as per their business, profession, job. That is called the register. It means this speech is decided by the business of a person. It means that this register is decided by the business of a person. For example, if the person is a doctor, he will talk in his business language. Means there will be some words, there will be some phrases, or there will be some sentences or paragraphs, or the total language will be the medical language. If that person is the architecture, his language will be architectural language. If there is the teacher, his language will be the teaching language, literary language. If there is the scientific teacher, the language will be science language. If he is the teacher of geography, that will be the geographical language. Means this language changes as per the business of the person, and that is called the register. This is the concept of the register. Every occupation or every job has its success. Now, persons have their businesses. For example, doctors have their businesses. So here the point is that every doctor has the success in his business. So the point is that every occupation has its success stories to talk before society. It means that if we take the example of a doctor, then that doctor talks about his successful stories which has been done by him in his life. He will write those stories in the book, or he will make a video of his stories, and he will present that video before people. It is the particular explanation, and so here it is very clear that every occupation or every job has its successful stories to talk before the society. And these people, when will discuss their stories, their successful stories, they will use this language. It means they will use this register. Now we will take one example of a doctor. So if the doctors are there, the doctors have their own history to bring to the notice of the society. If there are the teachers, they have their own successful stories to bring to the society. If there are the scientists, I will say, they have also the stories, successful stories to bring before the society. To express this history means all these people express their history, and to express this history, the doctors use their speech. Means when the doctors want to discuss their successful stories, they use their speech. Their speech means they use their doctoral language. They use the language in their medical sense. It means that language is the medical language. So to express this history, the doctors will use this speech, their speech, and tell us about their business history. Means these doctors tell us about their business history. This speech of the doctors is not similar to other speech. It means the doctors are explaining their speech in their medical language. That speech is not similar, is not equal to other people's speech. Why? Because the register is different. Now we are discussing about the doctors. Now if there is the successful farmer, that farmer will tell his successful story in the agricultural language. So the register of that farmer will be very different from the register or language of the doctors. Means doctors use the language and the farmers use the language are the registers. It is very easy that the farmer's language and the doctor's language in the sense of writing and speaking is the register, and this is the notion or concept of the register. It is very different with its features and characteristics. It means that the register of the doctors and the registers of the farmers or of the teachers will be different from each other in the sense of the features. Means doctors' features will be different and the farmers' features will be different. The teachers' features or characteristics will be different. In this way, the registers are different. The registers are different. Means there is also the difference between the registers also. For example, it is different from the speech register of the farmer. Just we saw of the farmer. The farmer's register is rural in villages. Means the farmer will tell us the rural stories, the successful stories, but the rural stories he will tell us, and the doctor will tell his city stories, metropolitan stories, because he attends conferences. So on the basis of those conferences, he will talk about the experience of his metropolitan cities. In this way also, the farmer will tell us the successful stories of his research in agriculture. I will tell you that the farmers also will go to America, Russia, and he will bring the successful technique of farming from these countries, and he will express his own opinion, he will express his own language, he will tell his experiences, or he will tell his technique, and he will, or the doctor will tell the techniques in their own languages, and this is called the registers. Means the doctor and the farmers will use their languages, and that is the register, or that is the concept of the registers. Then we will see that the two persons, means we have taken the example of the doctor and the example of the farmer. So all these two persons, when we'll discuss their own experiences while speaking, these persons will use their own languages. Means the farmer will use his own rural language, and doctor will use his city language, metropolitan language, because actually I will tell here that the doctor has the education more, because he is MD, he is MBBS, he has got education more in comparison with the farmer. So that farmer is perhaps is rural, and the doctor is living in the city or metropolitan city. That's why they will use their languages differently. Means the farmer will use rural language and the doctor will use the city language. But to teach, he will use his special register. Now see, the point is very interested, that when the farmer will use his rural language in his life, in his village, he will talk with his relatives in his rural language. But when that farmer will discuss his stories in front of his people, he will use his special register. The doctor also will do the same thing. In his family, he will use the always dialect or the rural dialect, or the doctor also will use his mother tongue in his family. But when that doctor will tell about his successful stories in front of the people, so that doctor also will use his special register of the medical, and the farmer will use the register of his own agriculture department. So these are the two differences, or these are the two examples. By the help or with the help of these two examples, we can learn easily the concept of the register. Thus, we have many registers. So just we discuss about the doctors, about the farmers. Now it is the point that there are many registers, like journalist, means journalist is there, so journalistic register is there. There are the scientists, so scientific register is there. There are the writers, so the literary registers are there. So there are the farmers, so there are the agricultural registers. Then doctors are there, so there are the medical registers, and then ecologists are there, so there is the ecological register. So there are different type of registers we can see. So here today we have seen the concept of register. We will see the next part of the register in the next period. So here I will request you to share, like and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.